Yo, what is good, Crypto Avengers? You already know who it is on Telegram, Daily Income Guru. If you didn't already know, so wow, this is the day after the launch. So let me get this. I want to let everybody know on social media that I'm live, so we can talk about the farm. Um, I want to go over a couple things I've learned since the farm. So first, let me go ahead and share this because this is live. Hopefully, I'm live. Let me check to make sure. Um, yep, I'm pretty much live. Okay, so let me share this um on Telegram. Hold on, guys, because I'm gonna answer questions from people. All right, I'm gonna put it in the drip group. Live now. Put that there. Okay, so let's wait for everybody to come in. Then now we can start going into some details. Like, I guess what I'll do is I'll go over some things that I've learned, new information, because wow, there's a lot of moving parts. This is not like a farm that's ever came out before. Let me see. So people are slowly trickling in. Yo, what's good? What's up? What's up? Man, this is all crazy. I just want everybody to remember, just like how we had with Rev and the Manor Farm, those first couple of days, everybody didn't know what to think. Oh yeah, I know. Well, I know now. Even I was unsure the first couple of days of the Manor Farm, because we had that big spike, you know, and then Rev came back down to $30. And they're like, okay, what is Rev gonna do from here? And once people figured out that, okay, the Rev price is a good buy, it's staying stable at $30, the APR is not. It wasn't at that time. It wasn't crazy. It was paying like maybe 1% a day, just like it is right now with the animal farm. Most pools are paying like 1%, maybe a little bit more than 1%. But once people seeing that, okay, it was stable at the price it was, that's when people started actually buying more Rev, adding Rev BUSD, and then because what controls the APR is the price of the token that's being farmed out. So in our case, dogs is what's going to mainly control the daily percentage we're getting. So the higher the value of dogs, the higher the daily percentage we're making on all the different farm pools, the single staking, stuff like that. So as everyone gets adjusted to how everything is working, people will start accumulating more dogs. Because right now, pigs is the hot topic. But once people realize that, I'm checking messages. People are messaging me on Telegram. Yeah, once people realize that it's the dogs that's making you the daily money, that's gonna make you the most daily money. Like pigs is cool. I mean, it's just gonna sit there, but it's gonna be the dogs that's the key to making the most money with the farm, because it's going to be paying the highest daily percentage depending on what pool you're in. Yeah, if you harvest from the garden random to go into the drip BUSD, that pool is paying right now a little. It's paying less than the garden. So right now the garden is still paying higher. I believe so. But if your goal is to try to accumulate more pigs, then yeah, go ahead and go for the farm, because it's the only pool besides dogs that allows you to get more pigs. Um, as we seen yesterday, let's go over here to, because no one's really asking questions, so I'll just go over what I was gonna look at. But let's just go over here to what's been happening with dogs. So, like I said, dogs is where the value comes from that gives us our APR. So if I come over here to the farms, and I'm gonna get into this too. This right here, these two things are very important. But let's first look at, okay, so dogs BUSD is paying 239%. You divide that by 365, and that gives you the daily percentage. All of these, you divide by 365, and it gives you what you're making a day. So drip BUSD here is paying less than 1% a day at this point. Now, when Rev and Manor Farm first came out, all these pools were kind of all paying low. But as Rev started to get more popular and the value of Rev started to go back up, because remember, it came out, $7 was a pre-sale. It shot to like 250, no, almost $300 or 250, and then came back down to $30. Once people seen that was a floor, they started buying Rev and put it into Rev BUSD pool, increasing the liquidity, increasing the value, which raises the APR, the daily percentage for all the pools. So once people start doing that, the big whales, the people who have a lot of money, they're not yet. You haven't really seen any real buying yet of dogs. Most of the dogs that's in there with dogs BUSD and dogs BNB is people who had the L2 tokens. They just took their L2 tokens and they turned around and put BUSD or BNB with it and put it inside the staking. Now I'm gonna tell you guys this early. There's a way that you can actually create your LPs without paying the transaction fees. You come over here to liquidity, tap it, and you can add dogs LP here without going to Pancake Swap. This is what he did for you guys. So look, avoid dog transfer tax by using a liquidity ad helper. So this can help you add it, and you can avoid the taxes to create dogs BUSD. That's amazing. You can do pigs BUSD and not pay a tax to do that too. Then you can also come here and hit remove. So you can remove your LPs unpair right here from the website without trying to go to PancakeSwap and learn how to do that. It's all here for you. So that's one of the first important things I want to show you guys is how to avoid paying transfer taxes for creating LPs. Another thing, guys, every address here, when you add dogs here, whatever, there's no transaction tax for dogs. So you'll notice when you put dogs into, let's say, the single asset pool here, you'll notice that it won't be taxed because all these addresses are whitelisted. So when you put dogs here, you'll still have the same amount of dogs. You're not going to pay a tax to stake your dogs or unstake your dogs. There's no tax. There's no tax to unstake from here, and there's no tax to stake because these are whitelisted. So same thing with the pig pen. There's no tax on pigs anyways. But everything here for the two tokens are whitelisted. So interacting with the farm with dogs and pigs won't incur a tax. But if you try to go to Pancake Swap itself and add that liquidity, you will get a tax pairing those tokens together. So I advise you, if you want to create dog LP, come here and do it this way to avoid the tax, and unpair it this way. Remove it from here through the site, through the helper contract that he created. Now, I'm going to go back over here to the chart. Let me see if you guys asked a question. And I'll continue on. The APR in Drip BUSD is not showing the numbers right. It's around 1,000% APR. I put 1.72. Is Dogs BNB? Well, Dogs BNB is not showing the correct value of money that's in there. I guess that's something he has to. It's a display error. So the value that's inside the Dogs BNB is not displayed correctly. But I would just stick with Dogs BUSD. Just stick with that. I mean, you can go Dogs BNB if you want, but of course, BNB is more volatile. Dollar is a dollar. The only one that has a display area right now, error, not area, but error is, let me see. The only one I see that has a display error is uh, Dogs BNB. It's not the APR. The APR is not off. The only thing that's off here is the amount of liquidity that's in there. It's definitely more than $104,000. This has $22 million, and this is a lower APR, but there's a lot of money inside here. There's $21 million of Drip BUSD sitting inside this core pool. Let's see. So, yeah, like I was saying, so let's go over here and analyze what's going on with dogs. So when we come look, this is pretty stagnant. There's not a lot of action going on here. The volume, I don't think is that high, but we do have a lot of liquidity. Dogs BUSD has, I mean, dogs has more liquidity than pigs. Um, so we go here. I'm on PooCoin. So this has a chart, so you can kind of see better, but it also has some things that I can go look at the contract to see the holders. So I kind of looked at this before I get into the major stuff. I go over here to the holders. Oh, why isn't that working? Am I still live? Hold on, let me see if something happened with my connection. No, my connection's good, but I don't know why when I click that. There we go. All right, so if you look, the first holder is an actual contract, and what this contract is that has 55% of the dogs, that is the single staking asset pool. So when you come over here and you click the pools, you'll notice when you interact with this, the address that you're interacting with is this contract address right here, D44. So when I go back over here, there's $34 million worth of dogs. Well, that is this amount of dogs that we have 333,000 dogs sitting in the single staking asset pool. Of course, we know this is dogs BUSD. This is pancake swap. So this is liquidity, and this is dogs BNB. So the top three addresses: the single staking asset of dogs, pancake swap, and I don't know what the other contract. I haven't analyzed what these are. Two more contracts. I haven't analyzed what those contracts are. Haven't taken the time. Um, but also coming over here to pigs, as we can see, pigs went all the way to $1,000. So some people were like, I didn't get the value of the L2. My L2s coming over from Rev. Like actually, you did. Rev pigs went all the way to 1,000, but it was in the 800 range for, I would say, at least an hour or 2 hours, around $800. Speaking on what actually happened during the launch, there was a crap ton of bots that had to be blacklisted that were trying to take advantage of a lot of people. So he had to one by one blacklist a whole bunch of bot addresses that were trying to take advantage and game and front run everybody and buy a whole crap load of dogs and pigs. Of course, to dump. That's why we had a huge dump in Rev, because a bot got in, bought 7% of the amount of Rev, and then when the price went up to 200 and something dollars, they dumped. So to prevent that from happening, he did that here. So now, just like anything, when a coin first comes out, you have that every initial coin that hits the market, it usually all does the same thing. Spikes all the way up, comes down to find the floor. It looks like the floor is around this price because we've wicked twice. These candles have a wick. This candle has a wick. So the floor is somewhere around here, $340. So the people who bought around this price for pigs, they did a good job. I'm sure a lot of people that had pigs, not a lot, but a few, took some of the pigs, sold the top, and then rebought back in. Now, I'm going to say this for people that's watching. That is an advanced technique. If you're a newbie and you're new at this, don't even worry about that. You're not a trader. You have to have a lot of experience and risk. It's taking risks because it didn't have to dump. It could have kept going higher and you sell, and now you're pissed off as pigs is $1,000, $2,000, and you sold at 1,000, hoping that the price will come back down to 400 so you can rebuy back. That's a chance. That's a risk. There's no point of doing that unless you have the experience. You could take that risk, but some people did, and it paid off for some. You can't win and do everything everybody does, especially if you're new at farming. Don't try to do all of that. That's how you get yourself fucked up. So it's just easier to take your pigs and stay in the pig pen, because in the pig pen over here, all the money has not even been added. Let me go over here to the home page. All the money has not even been added to the BUSD vault. So if you watch one of his latest AMAs that he did in the chat, he has about $6 million. And with that $6 million left, 40% of that, so about $2.4 million, is going to be used to actually buy dogs and pigs off the market and put that into and buy the dogs and pigs off the market. The other $3.6 million is going to be added into the BUSD vault. So right now we only have $1.8 million in the vault. So all the money has not even been added into those pools yet. So hold on, let me go look at some questions in the chat and see if I can answer some of those chat questions. Okay, yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching the videos on the channel, Victor. Um, Everyone here, please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm gonna go live in the drip group after this to talk people in there because I like to keep people informed so they don't you know do things in an emotional way. You don't want when it comes to your money, you don't want to be emotional with your money. You don't want to think emotionally because that's how you make mistakes. I mean, you may sell dogs and pigs. All right, hold on. The pause for a second. So, um, what else was I about to say? Sorry for the pauses. Busy day today. Um, what I want to go over to next. So I talked about adding liquidity. The garden. If you guys are interested in the garden is great. Some people are probably like, why did the garden go down? Of course, this got up to 400,000, and that's because a lot of people have been withdrawing their drip BUSD to come over to the farm. Now, I still think that the garden is is more of the higher paying uh, thing to do, but of course, this is going to fluctuate up and down. But what you'll notice is the time percentage is going to keep going up, which is going to lower the value of plants. But it encourages you to keep compounding because your dollar value is going to buy more plants because the value of the plants is going down in value. This game specifically, the garden, is not as simple and cut and dry as the faucet. It's just not. So if you want to earn a consistent percentage without worrying, just stick with the drip faucet. Hell, let's go over the drip because I also want to talk about that. This again, if you don't understand the garden, don't even play the garden because the garden you got different percentages going on. You got the plant values going down, but then you have the dollar value to be able to buy the plants going up at the same time. So I don't recommend that. But if you want to go and read up on the garden, it's a very good thing to do. It's not bad. But for new people that's coming over here to this ecosystem, the number one thing you want to be doing is coming over here and building your position inside Drip Network because it's the core of all of this. It's the core of all of this. So, yeah, when we come over here, we go to that radar, you'll see. Okay, so, anyways, if you come over here and look at Drip, out of all the smart contracts on on the Binance Smart chain. Drip is number two now. Not just in DeFi, all categories. This is all categories. This is how crazy Drip is growing. So, if anything, you want to secure your position in Drip. And I'm going to tell you what happened last night. I think a lot, I think not a lot, but I think some whales or some bigger people, they sold probably some dogs and some pigs. And they took that money and they came over here to Drip. Because as you can see, after dogs and pigs went down a little bit, Drip price spiked all the way to like 160. So again, people know at the end of the day, king of this shit is Drip. Because Drip is gonna have you making those $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 days. That's Drip. So the farm is powerful and it's going to continue to grow. And I believe the APR is going to continue to get higher. But at the end of the day, Drip is king for me in DeFi. The farming is for people who care to study because it's not as cut and dry as Drip is. Drip is simple. 10% tax on all transactions. 1% comes from the 10% everyone pays in taxes. Just like the government. The same way government runs. Everyone that gets paid in America or any other country, they get taxed on their wages and they pay taxes. And the government runs off of those taxes. The roads, the schools, maybe some government's health care. But taxes is what pays for everything. Drip is not hard to understand. It's just like any government, any country. All the citizens pay taxes and the country runs off those taxes. That's Drip. Cut and dry. It's not hard. If only 1% is going out and 10% everyone's paying, and only the ones that get paid from the 1% is stakers, which incentivizes not selling, therefore price goes up, more stability, not a lot of dumping. You can people, citizens can constantly be paid through the faucet. That's Drip. The best thing on the Binance Smart chain. So, if we go over here and look at the stats already for Drip, it's 4,270 users already for this month in 4 days. So that's great. Over 1,000 people a day. Amazing. Amazing. What else do I want to say? Let me see if you guys ask any more questions. I don't think a lot of people know I'm actually live. I don't feel like going to repost that link. Because what I'm going to do is go into the... maybe I'll post it one more time. Actually, I don't know if I want to go over... Actually, I'll just go over... I'm trying to just think on the fly. Like, should I go repost to try to get more people in here to explain it here? But I'll just start a live in the actual Drip group and explain some things there. I'll just say this video for YouTube. Alright, so let's go back over here. Because there's the one last thing I want to explain to you guys. And that is the emission rate. So, another thing to look at is here. Pay attention to maximal, pegged, restricted, and deflationary. When we have a maximal, when this is green, maximal is green, that means that demand for pigs and dogs is really high. And it's giving out the most amount of pigs and dogs as possible. And that is only because the demand is high. When it goes to pegged, that means it could potentially go to the restricted level. Pegged means that it's been so long where the demand is starting to slow down. So what it starts to do is let out less pigs and less dogs at the rate that the dogs and pigs are being sold and bought to try to cause some more price appreciation. But the price appreciation will really start kicking in once we go from pegged to restricted, because now it slows down even more. But the same demand is still there. So it's going to start causing price appreciation. So, like I said, there's still $6 million where they're going to take 40% of that, 2.4 million, and use that to buy the dogs and pigs off the market. That hasn't even happened yet. Also, they're going to be using that other 60% to add to the BUSD vault here, which is like $3.6 million, which goes to pay out all the people who are over here in the pig pen. So a lot of money hasn't even been added over here to be earned from the pig pen. Of course, transaction fees from dogs, 3% goes over here to the pigs. Also, you guys got to remember that all these fees that people are paying to come inside these, the 4% fees that people pay to get inside these different pools, 75%, I think it's still that way, it goes to the people in the pig pen as well. So there's a lot of different fees of money going inside the pig pen to pay us out our money instead of actually just selling the pigs. So, I mean, I think that's it because I don't see a lot of people asking questions. I don't want to make this video super long, but just understand that yesterday he had to blacklist a lot of bot addresses. I mean, a crap ton to save these people from being able to take advantage, buy the price cheap. That's probably why we didn't have even. I believe if the bots were allowed, would have been allowed to got in, we would have probably went to like $2,000+. But they would have, imagine if they would have bought at $50 and $30, and then sold millions and millions of dollars when it hit $2,000 or $3,000. And so imagine all the new people that would have came and bought dogs and bought pigs at $3,000 or $2,500, and then they dumped on everybody. You know how many people would be pissed if that happened? So it's really good that things happen this way, because as you can see, things are very stable. $400, $100. It's very stable. It's not a lot of movement happening. And once people see that stability, they're going to come and start slowly acquiring more pigs and more dogs. And that's going to start to raise these percentages for these pools. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that broke down some things to you. Again, the things to pay attention to is the emission rate here on the farm page, the maximal, the peg, the restricted. Usually when we start going to restricted and deflationary, that means it's the time to buy. That's a key for a lot of you guys. That means it's buy time for those two tokens, because it's going to start pushing things the other way. The system going to start working towards increasing the price of dogs and pigs. So thanks for watching. Glad you guys could stop by. And now I'm finna go live in the drip group.